Happy Friday! I am currently admiring the four patio stones that I pressure washed or power washed earlier. And I'm so excited to do my backyard and to get all those stones up. And then Scott and I are going to be lifting all the stones, getting all the nasty weeds that keep growing up in between them. We're going to put some landscaping fabric down. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, this one, not as clean, but also it could just be an older stone, so it doesn't clean quite as much, but like these three are dramatically different. So excited to do the rest of the yard, but you can see, don't mind the bag, you can see all these little, like, they're basically, at this point, they're troughs. And we're always fighting weeds in them. So we figured we will just pick up all the stones, and we got a kind of hodgepodge of some of these stones. So a couple of them are, like, they're broken. They were broken when we got here. So we'll have to kind of finagle around those. But we're gonna pick them all up, put the landscaping fabric down, kill any potential weeds that are gonna try and come up, and then kind of clump patio stones a little bit closer together. But yeah, and then the garden is looking nice. My hostas are all up and unfurling. Lilies are as big as ever. Hoping that our Rose of Sharon is taking. I've got 2 stalks, 2 mini trees. It's been a week, my friends, so my brain's just not quite there. Anyways, regardless, hoping the Rose of Sharon takes and continues to grow. But I'm very excited to do the backyard. And there's just some general, like, house upkeep that I just don't do. Like, genuinely, tell me, how often do you wash your windows? Don't lie. I'm curious, because I don't do them. I've never done them here. No problem saying that. Never done them here. But I did a whole bunch earlier, and I was cleaning up. There's like scuffs on my wall that, like, I keep staring at, and I was like, why are you so dirty? And like there's certain areas that are like high touch points or frequent touch points. There's like an acronym for that. That like I just took a magic eraser to, amongst other cleaning things, and just like went to town. And then you start noticing more of them. And that drives me crazy. And that's another thing that I hate with like certain tile patterns, that I guess in a sense it's nice because you can't actually tell something's dirty because there's, you know, like there's different tones to it. But then when you're cleaning it and you're really staring at it, you're like, is this just not lifting, or is this what my tile actually looks like? This is a dilemma that I have faced. But I'm just kind of feeling really inspired to just clean everything. And I have a hellhole in my dining room right now that I have neglected and just casually ignored for, I think it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I think it's been about a month, because I brought all the stuff into my house from work when we thought that we were going to go remote for teaching, which we have. We just finished, I think, week 3 of remote teaching. And so I have a lot of crap over there, and the filing cabinet that I picked up a couple weeks ago, I haven't put anything in it yet. That's where, oh. I've been looking for something, and I think I put it in my filing cabinet. Hold on, now I like have to know if I was just that big a dumbass and could not find something the other day. Oh man, I'm gonna shoot myself if I did in fact. I'm probably all really dark now. Let me see if I goofed. There it is. How am I so dumb? How am I so dumb? I've been looking for some of this, and I was like, I had it somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where I put it. Because I was looking at my drawers, in my closet. It's fine. It's fine. I have it now. So, back to regular scheduled programming, like my tea. So, other than those few things that you just saw, I don't really have anything in there. And there, that corner, it's got a lot of stuff. So I feel like it's time to do a little bit of sorting. I'm gonna look at my tea. I'm gonna go write a list, because that's what I love to do. I love to write me a list. I'm gonna write a list of all the things that are floating in my head, all the things that I'd like to do, all the things I'd like to clean this weekend, all the things I'm gonna do for work, And yeah, so I might check in with you guys in a little bit if I have anything worthy of sharing. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hello again. It's actually now 7:05. I got up, thought about going back to bed. Knew that I wasn't going to be super productive when I first got up. I wanted to do a little bit of yoga, but I was a little bit cold. Our heat is not working at the moment. Not that we need it during the day, but it was a little bit nippy when I woke up this morning. But I sat on the couch and enjoyed my cuppa instead. And I ain't mad about it. I'm just trying to sort out my day. Didn't end up running my list yesterday. Got a little distracted and then started cleaning other things. What did I end up doing? I don't know. I sat down and then I didn't. I don't know what I ended up doing. But I know that I started cleaning my room. Our room. My stuff in our room. So I'm going to finish that. I know I changed the bed over because fresh sheets always just feel so good. So I'm going to finish the bedroom. Gonna deal with that stuff. Oh, not nice. It did look nicer than that. But then Scott doesn't help and he ends up shoving things out of the way for trying to clear the table off, so deal with that disaster. Ooh, I'm gonna go check on, let us check on my patio stones from yesterday. Oh yes, those look nice. So I'm going to do that later. But I waited, obviously, because nobody wants to hear a pressure washer at 5:40 in the morning. I think that would definitely be a premise of a noise complaint. So obviously I'm going to wait a little bit longer because it's a Saturday. So I'm going to get tidying. I'm going to have breakfast first, actually. I held off on breakfast because if I do some yoga or I do my 12:30, I don't want to feel icky. But my stomach growled, so I'm I'm going to eat first. And then set about organizing. But Scott and I are going to make some banana muffins. Now, unfortunately, the recipe that I just kind of pulled up, I do not do recipes from my head. I am incapable of these things. But the one I found looked really good, and we can't find our cinnamon, which is frustrating. So we're going to basically do the recipe without cinnamon. It was cinnamon and nutmeg, and we have neither. I honestly think that we must have left it at his mom's place at Christmas when we made our eggnog. So I'm just gonna mix it up. So this is the tabletop of an old desk that Scott had from his parents' place. And we have MacGyvered it already. We'd actually shortened it and we moved in, so we actually put it into the window ledge, the little alcove. But you can see that because of the scalloped edge, or whatever you want to call it, that it doesn't actually fit very well. So he's just MacGyvered a line that he is going to use his saw on to make it less deep. And then he'll have his second workspace in his office. The muffins are almost done and my house smells so good. It would smell even better if there was cinnamon in them, but that'll just have to be another batch. So the saw was ever so slightly not deep enough. So now Scott has to remeasure on the other side. This is why we are not a DIY channel here, people, because I am sitting on that. You guys saw the muffins. It looks so freaking good. And the sun is making me so happy. Yesterday at lunchtime, it was super gorgeous out. I actually changed into a strapless top from the top that I was wearing for work so I can come sit outside for an hour, catch some sun, and then go back inside and teach. And a couple of my students actually sat outside for the lesson that afternoon, which made me laugh because I so desperately wanted to teach them outside. You ready for me? Alright, let's do this. I am enjoying now my second muffin. It's actually 10:45 now. I'm tidying up the room. You can see I have a mountain of stuff to hang in my closet. I was going to try and purge simultaneously, or not necessarily purge, but put away things that are a little too warm now for the weather. But I thought, because I kind of want to actually film that, I'm just going to load up my closet and then you'll see it near bursting and then I'll do my purge. But these muffins are so good. They're super, super moist. I'm going to finish this, and then I think because it's going to be warm, I might go do the blasting of the patio stones and then come back inside and do the living room. Alright, so I'm back at it. Just did 2.5 stones, but I just thought I would do a little spiel of the back. I obviously have to move the benches around as I progress, but like this stone I'm interested in seeing, this stone. So yeah. Alright, so the floor still looks quite dirty with all like the particles and stuff, which I'm going to sweep away later, but you can just see such a huge difference. A couple spots where, because there was such a big pooling of water, the dirt's kind of like resettled in a couple spots, but overall, such a big difference. So I actually changed into strapless top earlier when I went and did this, and then I look like I'm not wearing anything, so let me just hike that up. So I ended up doing our front patio, and I did my neighbors as well, just because, I don't know, I thought it would kind of look weird with like one being done and one not being done, so I thought I would do it for them. I don't know if they'll notice, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, we don't really talk, but I thought I would do that, and it just looks so good, so I'm happy with that. Hello again. It is almost 8 o'clock. I feel like today kind of whizzed by, and then kind of didn't. So I've showed you guys the backyard, and I power washed the front. I did my neighbors. I made a comment to Scott that we don't really know our neighbors. We have what we affectionately call the good neighbors and the bad neighbors. And we don't really ever see either of them. So it happened that I was putting something away out the front when my neighbor came home. I kind of caught her and I said, hey, sorry, just want to let you know, whatever. And I found out she's also in education, and we probably talked for like 30 minutes on our front step, and it just felt so good because I genuinely wish that we knew more of our neighbors. And I just thought it was very funny that the same day that I thought that, I ended up chatting with one of my neighbors and having more in common than I thought. I've just started moving all the stuff out of the dining room area into my office, which is just going to make me stressed about my office, but at least it'll be out of here and make Scott happy because it has been underfoot. Alright, so that's it for tonight. I will check in with you guys in the morning and let you know if I ended up watching movies or ended up having a YouTube night, or if I got a sporadic witching hour, which does occasionally happen, and then you can't stop me from doing whatever it is I put my mind to. Good morning. So that little squirrel right there, little prick, comes into my garden and literally will come and sit on my fence, come and like muck about in the ground. Just now, hello, I look a mess. Just now I went out and chased him, as I usually do. Usually I spray him with the hose if I can get to it fast enough. So I chase him, caught my hands, stomped my feet, whatever. Then he comes back, sits opposite me on the fence, and I open the door, and he kind of like perks up like, what you gonna do? And I'm sitting there, and I get literally probably an arm's length away from him before he even thinks to budge, and then I like clap and then he goes flying. But like, the nerve of these squirrels. I call them demon squirrels. But good morning, happy Sunday. Didn't get up nearly as early today. Did get up just after 7-ish. And then just kind of a slow start. I'm just gonna get my work done now. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Oh, and I told you guys I would let you know what we ended up doing yesterday. Well, I can tell you, we didn't end up watching any shows or movies. Scott ended up doing some gaming, and I decided it was time to do some coloring. If you guys haven't seen my body image video, or like my journey with my body, I'll definitely leave it in the cards for you guys. Go check it out, please, because I really do want to have that conversation. I've had some really good comments on my Instagram about it, which make me feel all warm and fuzzy and happy inside. So go give it a listen, go give it a watch, and let me know if you've had any struggles with how you viewed your body over the years, for better or for worse. I'm not looking just for like a negative Nancy stories, but if you have positivity about how you've managed or how you've changed your outlook on things, I would love to hear it. My biggest issue with anything fitness related is consistency. And it's not just with fitness, it's actually with a lot of things. Consistency is something that I hardcore struggle with, even though mentally I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that. My body's just like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So that, I think, is a huge struggle for me. I also realize this is probably not very good lighting for first thing in the morning, so hello again. Yeah, so consistency is just so freaking hard. And like, it shouldn't be hard, but for me it is. And it's like so frustrating. So 2 weeks ago now, I tried calendar blocking. I'd watched a video on it, and I'm aware of it. It's not like it was a brand new concept, but I'd never actually tried it. Not fully anyways. Like, I kind of told myself, okay, yeah, I'm gonna, I guess I've blocked out time before, but like, I put this in my Google Calendar and made it, you know, pretty and color coordinated. And like, I punched in the times where I'm teaching, I punched in like my prep times and said, here's what I'm going to do on this prep. So whether it was grading, whether it was, you know, prepping work for the week, whatever the case may be. And I actually told myself what I was going to be grading. Because like, I got a bunch of stuff that I can mark, and some of it takes longer than others. So sometimes, of course, I will like push things off. But in the calendar, I was like, okay, I'm going to grade this, 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 this. Okay, if I had like an hour and a half or 2 hour window, depending, because obviously I don't have recess duties being at home. So I'm trying to use like all my like breaks and all my little downtime to get stuff done. So 2 weeks ago, I did that. I'd done it for the week. I didn't last the whole week because I had a couple things that came up, and then if you throw me off my schedule and off my routine, not routine, but like throw me off my schedule, I don't handle that very well. So I had 2 uber productive days. Like, I was floored. My Monday and Tuesday were beautiful. Like, I got so much done. And then the Wednesday morning, I got most of my stuff done, but then I had a bunch of things come up, and that kind of like filled gaps where I couldn't really sit and like go back into the working stuff. So I fell off a little bit through late, I guess Wednesday afternoon-ish. And then that threw off the rest of my week for my plans, even though you could obviously change the details of your blocked time. I could have easily been like, oh, didn't mark this here, let me move that over there. But because I had divided all of the work that I had to mark into like those, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 chunks of time, it was disheartening to realize I was no longer going to have everything done. So that was fine, carried on, then we went to the cottage. And this week, I was going to do it again, and I did a little bit on Monday. I believe I did a little bit on Monday, maybe it was Monday and Tuesday. Oh, I don't feel like it lasted that long. But I, again, had so many miscellaneous little things popping up that was just taking up so much time, and I couldn't help it. Like, I had to, you know, hop on a call for something, or I had to deal with another situation, stuff like that. Like you can't stop that. Like that's like things you need to do, but things that were not scheduled or planned. So that makes it hard for me to do it. But I am this week, because this is my last week before our spring break, and then I have report cards and stuff to write. So this week I'm all going ham, and I might do some today as well. We'll kind of see how I feel about that. But I am going to try and plan out and just have a couple of like longer work nights, because with working from home, it's very easy. Well, teachers are always working. I just thought, like, in case you weren't aware, we never really stop. And because of that, I often do work-related things in the evening. Even if I'm not intending to, or I'm intending to, like, find a few more resources, and then I end up in this, like, rabbit hole of things. So with working from home, it could go in those two extremes. It could be, I don't want to do anything when the day's done, because, like, it is exhausting to do online teaching, like, mentally exhausting. Or you go to the extreme of, so do everything or do nothing, and, like, doing the everything is just, like, poring over stuff. So I try to give myself a couple of nights a week, both when I was in person and remote, for work nights. So that means I can do planning, or I can find resources, or I can create stuff, whatever the case may be, grade, mark. So I'm going to do that this week with intentional timing, and not just say, oh, it's going to be a work night. Because if I just say it's a work night, I'm never going to get it done. So I'm really going to look at that today and properly schedule it, because I think that if I do that and I can give myself time off, like I even scheduled in time for social media, which sounds really silly, but like I never have an optimal time for it. Like I just kind of pick up my phone, and I'm in that habit again because I'm at home. My phone's always around me. I'm always picking it up. Always. Checking the weather, checking something, end up on social media. I'm like, no. And the worst is that I pick my phone up to do something else, end up on social media, put my phone down, and then realize, oh, you were looking for an email. Oh, you were looking for something. Something specific. Or even if it's like a social media thing, it was something specific that I didn't do. So I gave myself a couple of like half-hour windows, and it made using social media more intentional. And that's something that I also struggle with. Like I want to post more, obviously, but I also want to like engage more and like scope out new accounts. I also have to purge accounts, because like my following, people I follow, I have so many accounts that I follow, and I've been on Instagram now for almost 10 years, which is absolutely mind-boggling. So a while back, I was purging or archiving old photos, like stuff that you would never post to Instagram anymore. Like when Instagram was literally just like posting photos. Like obviously it's still posting photos, but like, you know what I mean? It could have been a screenshot on your phone and posted, or like the little random things and you spam your feed. Anyways, I digress. But in 10 years, I've followed a lot of people. And I've obviously broached out into different accounts on my social media now, in case you weren't aware. I have obviously my regular feed, which still has like my beauty, my fashion, my lifestyle, but I've created a home account for Scott and I. It's really for me. It's our house, which is why he's in it, but he's never going to use it, which is totally fine. He doesn't care. But I've got that. I have a teaching account. And I have one, again, that's Scott and I. We're trying to do a food blog. He wants to do more as a recipe book, like an online recipe, which is kind of like a food blog, but we're not 100% in agreement about how that's going to work out, but that's fine. No big deal. But we went to start it a couple of years ago, which is also mind-boggling. Did not know it was that long ago. Looked at it recently and was like, oh, that's not good. So I have one of those, and so occasionally I post that. That's like all the food stuff and the cooking, whatever. So I want to make sure that I'm intentional with the time that I spend on those accounts, and also to make sure that I'm following the right people. So like I'm purging home accounts from my feed and moving it to my home account's feed. And likewise for there's other things that I'm just like, hey, I'm never gonna look at this here, or it's just not something that I'll be drawn to. And again, like, there are accounts that I 100% forgot that I was following. Or they've, like, completely changed their aesthetic. Or they haven't posted in, like, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So why am I following an account that's dead? So it's kind of annoying to try and go through them all. Like, I literally spent probably 30 to 45 minutes the other day, and I only deleted 150 accounts, which is still an achievement. But when you have like almost 3,500 people that you follow, like, that's just ridiculous. Hello. So I had a happy accident. Let's see if you can bounce precariously on this. There we go. So I just had a happy accident. I went to Starbucks because I need to get out of my house. And Scott this morning when we went grocery shopping saw that they had this new strawberry funnel cake drink. And there's been so many articles recently about like the random customizations and like the obscure orders that some of these baristas have to deal with like 31 customizations or add-ons or whatnot. So when Scott and I were talking about that, and he mentioned this one, I was like, well, that's a made-up one because it's a newer one. So he's like, no, it's real. He's like, I saw it on the poster. So he pulled up on the website. So I was like, fine. So I go to order it when I get there. And the barista's like, oh, with or without caffeine? And like, I didn't realize that was even an option. So I panicked. I was like, without. So when I was getting my order, another barista, she gave me my chai tea latte. And then she's like, oh, so the girl accidentally made this with caffeine. Like, do you want us to make you a new one? I was like, oh, like, not a big deal. Like, because it's for Scott. So I was like, he'll be fine. And she's like, no. She's like, we'll make you another one. So I now have a caffeine-free and a caffeine strawberry funnel cake frappuccino and my chai tea latte. So that was a nice little perk. Now, am I going to be able to drink both drinks? Probably not without feeling sick, but we're going to try. So I had them sitting safely down here because I was not going to deal with that all over my seats. That was not detailing I was planning on doing. But yeah, so I'm going to go enjoy that and then finish some planning.